Hello everyone, welcome to Arts and Crafts for You. My name is Gina and today I'm gonna be showing you how to make these little fabric bowls. I have two different ones here and I also have this one here that I'm gonna be giving you instructions also on this one. Also in the end of the video I'll be doing the draw for the bag that I made in my last video. So stay tuned for the end of the video and then I'll let you know who won. So for this small bowl, I think I'm gonna show you all the instructions for this one, but I also gonna mention different measurements that you can make them a little bit bigger. And on this one is just different folds of the fabric that you can also get this type of I guess bowl you can use in your sewing room, anywhere around the house. So now let's start with the list of materials. So for this one little one here that we have here, I even have it here full of little chocolates because it's really good for Easter. You can give it to the kids, have it on your table, you know. So for this little one, I'm gonna just giving you the measurements. So we're gonna be needing 2 pieces of fabric, and these 2 pieces of fabrics are going to be 9 inches by 9, and we're going to need 4 buttons, and also you're going to need a fusible fleece. Here I already fused to my fabric, so just to cut the video a little shorter. So we need a marking pen, some sewing thread, some scissors, a sewing machine, an iron, and I think we pretty much got it covered. So now we're gonna get started. I'm just gonna put all my stuff away here, and what I'm gonna do, oh, I forgot to mention the pins. Of course we're gonna need pins and a needle for hand sewing. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my 2 pieces of fabric, the 9 by 9, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put right sides to right sides, and what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna put these pieces here on this side, and I'll get to it after. And also I'm gonna just put the buttons here on the side. So what I'm gonna do with these here, I'm going to put right sides and right sides together, put them like that, and I'm just gonna pin them quickly. Okay, mostly the corners. If you were a beginner in sewing, this is a great project because it's simple and it's quite fast to do. So now I need to sew this around, but I also need to leave an opening here so I can flip it inside out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark, I would say about 2 inches should be enough. So I'm going to go here, and of course I'm gonna mark it on this side. It will be easier to see. Let's see, about 2 inches. About 2 inches. And normally the 2 inches should be right in the middle. You should never have it too close to a corner because it's more difficult to sew after. So I mark my 2 inches. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna, since I wanna sew, I have all my pins in the other side. Maybe I just flip them to this side, make it easier to see. So after you put some pins around and left a marking there, your 2 inches marking for turning it over. So normally when you start sewing this, normally you start sewing here, go around, get to the corner, pivot the other way, go all the way around and get here again, back stitch, back stitch. What I want you to do, I'm gonna show you a little closer. I want you, instead of starting here, you're gonna actually sew this direction first. So you're putting a seam down here first, then you're gonna sew across, go all the way around, and when you get here, you're gonna do exactly the same thing. Instead of stopping here, you're gonna sew out. So you end up sewing these 2 parts this way, and I'm going to show you. It's a lot easier when you turn it out. So I'm gonna use 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I'm just gonna sew this around, and then I'll show you what happens when you turn it around. Okay, so I sew all this around. I trim my corners. Okay. All my corners are trimmed. And if you think you have too much bulk on the sides, you can always trim it a little bit. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna trim a little bit, almost 1/4 inch. But if you just trim it a little bit. The only place I don't want you to trim is here where we had our opening, because you're gonna need that for when you're turning it inside out. So I'm just taking that. There, I don't trim anything, I trim a little bit here. Just to reduce the bulk from the corners. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn it inside out. And sometimes the easier way to turn it out, you just go all the way to the bottom and then push the bottom out. It comes a lot easier. And you just pull it that way, and it seems to come out a lot easier. And if you see, because you did that little seam there, automatic, your opening here is already turned down because you had a little seam there. See that little seam there that you did? It's already folding as an edge, so it's a lot easier for when you do your top stitch to iron it and have a straight edge. Well, I'm gonna try to pull all my corners out, and I'm just gonna use my scissors to help me out. I'm sure if you have a turning tool or something else, or knitting needles are good, anything that can help you push the corners out. Just be gentle so you don't rip your fabric. Other than that, I think you'll be okay. So as soon as you turn all these out, I have this one here, needs to be fixed a little bit. It's not out completely. Okay, there we go. See, but because I did that little fold, that little sewing part, this ends up already nice and folded in. So all I have to go now, I'm gonna go to my iron quickly. I'm gonna iron it flat, and we're gonna do a top stitch around, and I'll be right back. So I'm back. I ironed it, everything nice and neat now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a top stitch. If you have a machine that has fancy stitches, so you can use one of those and do a fancy stitch around. If you don't, just use a regular stitch. Mine has a couple, but I'm actually only gonna use a double stitch. And what I'm gonna do with my double stitch, I'm gonna increase my stitch length to a 4 as far as it goes. And so I'm just gonna sew it around a nice top stitch, and I'll show you your next step. All right. Okay, I'm gonna trim some of my threads. So now you have your square. So your next step will be measuring. So I'm gonna get a measuring tape or a ruler, whatever you have available. And what I'm gonna go here I'm gonna measure 3 inches in and 3 inches this way. I'm gonna do 3 this way, 3 this way. Just gonna mark it all my corners, 3 every direction. So now what I want you to do is we're gonna go here where we marked it, join there. We're gonna get needle and thread. Okay, I think I should put a bigger thread in my needle. Just get some thread. You can use pink. Just gonna put it on the needle. Alright. Knot in the bottom. So we have 3 inches this way, 3 inches that way, 3 inches that way, 3 inches this way, 3 this way, 3 this way, and 3 this way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the 3 inches this way and the 3 inches this way, and I'm gonna mark it, put them together like that, and I'm gonna get my needle and thread, and I'm just gonna put a couple stitches through. I'm not even gonna worry about the little knot that I did in my thread there because we're not gonna see it. It's gonna be hidden. So just gonna couple stitches. So when you're right in the end, you're gonna pull your, so the thread will make a knot right there, so it's secure. You can do once or twice. I'm gonna show you one more time, just in case you know what I'm talking about. So needle through there, and I'm gonna pull. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew all the other corners. So you're gonna end up with something like this. So what I want you to do now is turn this inside out like that. So you end up with all your little corners inside, right? So now what I want you to do is you're gonna push these like this, and we're gonna flip that part there. So you put it even like that, just right across, and then turn it like that. Okay, and turn all your corners like that. Okay, I just put pins on this one here, but really now all you have to do is get some buttons, and attach it here. So you'll sew the buttons here. I have my blue buttons to put here, and you're done. You fill it with chocolates, with anything you want. You can put little even some, if you make these for your sewing room, you can put some sewing thread, and they come out really interesting. If you want them a little bit bigger, like, you know, depending of the size of the square, they always end up a little bit bigger. This one here, my seam allowance, when I measure my corner, I did 3. On this one here, I did 2.5. So that's where I have a little bit more space in between here. And it's a little taller. It's a little lower, and this one is a little taller. So the higher that you do your 2 inches on your square, like this was a bigger one that I made. I made this one here. This is the one I made here with this fabric. And this one I did, let's see, I think it's 11 by 11. And I also did here 3 inches, you know, so I end up a lot lower and a lot bigger. If I wanted this to be taller, I could do 4 inches in, 4 inches in, and then I wind up with this a little taller. Okay, so this is the way we do this one. Okay, actually, since I have this one here, I might as well do the draw for the bag. So this is the bag we're gonna do the draw for that I made last week, and I'm just gonna mix, and I'm just gonna pull a name, and the person is Lori Kearns. That's the name of the person that won the bag. When you see the video, just contact me and with your mailing address, and I will be mailing you the bag. I'm gonna give you about a week to send you some information. Now I'm gonna just show you quickly how to make this one here. So what are you gonna need to make this one here? You're gonna need a square of fabric. Okay, I'm gonna put these away here. These here. So you're gonna need a square of fabric, and I think this one was, I already sewed it around and flipped it inside out just to cut, to make the video shorter. Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it would be 16 inches by 16 inches. Okay, so after you have your 16 inches square, you're gonna sew exactly as we did with this little one here. Okay, so you're gonna sew all the sides, turn it inside out, and do your top stitch all the way around. And then what are you gonna do? You're going to fold this in half. So you're gonna fold it in half like that. Then you're gonna get your ruler or your measuring tape, and you're gonna measure from your fold area, the fold here on your fold. You're gonna mark 3 inches this way and 3 inches this way. Then you're gonna draw a line across, and this, I'm gonna put a pin there. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing to this side. Let's see, this is my fold area. And this is the areas I'm actually gonna sew it across, right there. Okay, after you done that, I'm actually gonna change my machine to block quickly. Okay, so I'm gonna go here So on my fold, I'm gonna put these together and I'm gonna sew that across. I'm gonna do a double stitch because it's more secure. So I'm just gonna go there. I'm gonna increase my double stitch to a 4, and I'm just gonna sew right on that line. So I sew both sides, trim all my threads. Okay. So after you sew those sides, this is where you end up, right? So now what I want you to do is fold this like that. Okay. You're gonna fold it like that with this sticking out, and you're gonna repeat the same thing. This area here, you're gonna measure again the 3 inches, 3 and 3, and you're gonna make a line there and sew that there. You're gonna go to this other side, you're gonna do exactly the same thing. 3 inches, 3 inches, and sew that there. So let me do it quickly. This doesn't take long. My other side. Okay, I'm gonna trim that. Okay, this is what you end up with. Okay, so now what you're gonna do, you're gonna fold your corner here and put a pin, and then you're gonna touch a nice button. And fold your other corner, that, all the corners down, and there you go. Go like that. Open these, open that one there, and after you're done your buttons, I'm not even gonna touch the buttons. You guys know how to attach a button. It's gonna end up like this one. The difference between this one and this one is this one here, when I measure my 3 inches, instead of measure 3, I measure 4 on this one, so I end up taller, and my triangle end up smaller. But it's exactly the same measurement. It just, the bigger is your measurement. When you do your measurements, the taller it's gonna be. So if you want a little more, if you want this to be even more narrow, you could do 2 inches. It will end up even more like this, very flat. So it's really up to you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you make a lot of these for your sewing room, for your kitchen, for your bathroom, for whatever the need is. And I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Okay, and again, Lori is the winner. So just please contact me and with your mailing address so I can ship the bag to you.